Roll up, everybody. One man, have you missed me? Come join, gather. One man went to mow. It is your man, not your boy. You know what time it is? It's one man went to mow time. So, gather, come join. Let's start with the intro music. Have you missed me?
Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone. Of his heart. How much you miss it. And you miss it. And you miss it. And you miss it. And you did it right from the start. And you did it right from the start. Missing someone is as normal. Missing someone. Missing someone is as normal. Missing someone with all your heart. Missing someone with heart. Missing someone, I am sad and so
And there we are, DJ Quirts, Missing Someone. Where are you guys? Have you missed me? Click on the hyperlink if you want to come join me live on screen. Say hello as you're coming in, introduce yourself. Matters arising, matters Nigeria related. You know how it goes already because we've been here before. One man went to mow, your man, not your boy. Okay, so straight into it we go, and we kick off immediately with the World Bank's response to Buhari's broadcast. You recall, of course, in that long-winded speech that Buhari made, how he was boasting and bragging about taking 10 million Nigerians out of poverty. So now you know what they say: statistics, and damned lies. So statistics, and damned lies. As guys, I bring you this. Despite Buhari's claims, World Bank says 7 million Nigerians became poor in 2020. So that's the headline that we're contending with. Statistics. Despite Buhari's claims, World Bank says 7 million Nigerians became poor in 2020. So now let's see how the figures match up. Barely 3 days after President Muhammadu Buhari claimed that his regime has lifted over 10 million Nigerians out of poverty in the last 2 years, World Bank Nigeria Development Update says 7 million Nigerians plunged below poverty line in 2020. Mr. Buhari, in his Democracy Day speech, said, in the last 2 years, we lifted 10.5 million people out of poverty: farmers, small-scale traders, artisans, market women, and the like. But the World Bank, in a statement on its website on Tuesday, said about 7 million Nigerians dropped below poverty line due to increase in inflation in the country in 2020. In 2020, the Nigerian economy experienced a shallower contraction of minus 1.8% than had been projected at the beginning of the pandemic. Although the economy started to grow again, prices are increasing rapidly, severely impacting Nigerians' household, the statement reads in part. As of April 2021, the inflation rate was at its highest in the last 4 years. Food prices accounted for over 60% of the total increase in inflation. Rising prices have pushed an estimated 7 million Nigerians below the poverty line in 2020 alone. Shaban Chadri, the World Bank country director for Nigeria, was quoted in the statement to have said, whilst the government has made efforts to reduce the effect of these by advancing long-delayed policy reforms, it is clear that these reforms will have to be sustained and deepened for Nigeria to realize its development potential. So that's the counterweight. Earlier in February, a World Bank report had projected that an additional 20 million Nigeria could be impoverished by 2022. Gloria Joseph Raji, a senior economist at the Washington-based financial institution, predicts an astronomical surge in Nigeria's 83 million poverty cycle. So, with slower growth and fewer jobs, and then coupled with high inflation, our estimates are that the number of poor will increase by about 15 to 20 million people by 2022 from about 83 million people in 2019, Ms. Joseph Raji said. So there you have it, claims and counterclaims. So whose figures are you believing, and whose figures are you disbelieving? Or are the two figures even in tandem? Because the two of them, of course, can cohabit. Nigeria could have lifted 10 million people out of poverty, as Malam Buhari stated, and what the World Bank also stated could be factually correct. Because, of course, them lifting those people into poverty does not then diminish that additional people are going into poverty. So the people that lifted into poverty would have simply added onto the statistics that has been put forward by the World Bank. So it's not an either or, but then of course, if it was either or and it was an optional choice, then the weight, of course, will have to go to what the World Bank said. So I'm actually looking for the follow-on story that I had. Okay, so let's go to this story. It's not a follow-on story, but the second story in the lineup that I had promised. So we're going to the Eastern Quarters again, and the one word or the one name that seems to agitate those people. So matters seem to be now settled once and for all by a notable leading Yoruba journalist by the name of Reuben Abati from Isaac's home state, of course, Ondo State. So Reuben Abati, of course, now comes to nail that Jubril at SUDANI narrative on the head once and for all. As guys, I bring you this. JUBRIN of Sudan, Reuben Abati opens up on Buhari's interview on Arise TV. So we saw that interview, of course, with Reuben Abati, Tudun Abiola, and several other notable names within the Nigeria journalistic media space, converging wherever they converged, with Malam Buhari being the centerpiece and, of course, probing him just as much as they could, given the circumstances. So the offshoot of that, again, JUBRIN of Sudan, Reuben Abati opens up on Buhari's interview on Arise TV. So now let's hear now what Reuben's report is regarding that interaction. Reuben Abati, a former media aide to ex-President Goodluck Jonathan. So if we pause there for a moment, so nobody can claim that this guy is a sympathizer of Buhari just from that opening line. So already from the opposition space, and he has gone in now to interrogate him as as aggressively as he can, given the circumstances. Of course, Nigeria doesn't lend itself to its presidents being too excessively or aggressively probed, but as excessively and as aggressively as he can probe, Reuben Abati is exactly the person to do that probing. So we start all over again. Reuben Abati, a former media aide to ex-President Goodluck Jonathan, has shared insights on the recent interview with President Muhammadu Buhari. In an article on Tuesday, Abati, a journalist with Arise Television, tried to clear some conspiracy theories concerning the president. There were claims about the presidency being taken over by a cabal, with some also arguing that the elected president died a while ago and had been replaced by a body clone called JUBRIN from Sudan. Nigerians have also been told how their president had succumbed to a combination of dementia and senility, and his administration taken over by some persons who call the shots in his name. These conspiracies flourished due to the absence of Buhari's personal voice. However, the president was interviewed by Arise TV team made up of Prince Nduka or Obiagbana, chairman of Arise/This Day Media Group, owner of This Day newspaper and Arise TV, Olusegun Adeniyi, former presidential spokesperson during the Yar'Adua administration, who is currently chairman of This Day newspaper editorial board, Ms. Tudun Abiola, lawyer, daughter of the late MKO Abiola, and Reuben Abati. So this is now Reuben's report now from that interaction. The man that our team sat with and interviewed didn't sound like a JUBRIN from Sudan, Abati said. He was alert, alive, informed, confident, relaxed, witty, and capable of disarming humor. He was not the invalid or the senile old man that his critics say he is. He didn't sound weak either. As the interview progressed, he had another function that he needed to attend, and we didn't leave the villa until around 11 p.m. Less than 12 hours later, the same man the following day was in Lagos to commission railways, maritime, and security projects. So alert, assertive, full of confidence and fully in charge is what Reuben Abati reports back. And Reuben Abati, of course, several interactions with Buhari over the course of many years. So he knows exactly who Buhari is. And in recent interactions now, as recent as only a couple of days ago, he is now reporting back that the person that he met and interacted with is indeed fully the Buhari that he has always known, and not at all some ridiculousness called JUBRIN at SUDANI. So away with you with that JUBRIN at SUDANI foolishness. So that one finally knocked on the head. JUBRIN at SUDANI, what JUBRIN at SUDANI? So now, still within the political space and still within that presidential space, and to the combination now, the rather odd mix of football and politics. We've seen that in Liberia, of course, with what is his name, their new president, but I can't recall his name, the former footballer. But now football entering politics within the Nigerian space. Guys, I bring you this. Nigerians condemn Mikel Obi for pledging support for Kogi Governor Yaya Bello. So we covered this story over the last couple of days or so, or at least we've made mention of it. I'm not quite sure if we went into any depth, but we just flashed across the headline. But now we treat it fully as reactions to it come thick and fast. Nigerians condemn Mikel Obi for pledging support for Kogi Governor Yaya Bello. So now let's not see now what this heady mix of football and politics is all about. Nigerians on social media have called out former Super Eagles midfielder Mikel Obi for pledging support for the political aspirations of Kogi Governor Yaya Bello. On Sunday, Obi paid a courtesy visit to Bello in Abuja, during which he lauded the achievements of the governor. He was quoted as saying, "It is an honor for me to finally meet His Excellency personally after all the good things I have heard and read about him from not just the people of Kogi State, but from Nigerians." So this is already political speak, of course. Which Nigerian is speaking to Mikel Obi about Kogi State? What is Mikel Obi's concern even or business with Kogi State? I think he's an Igbo man, is he not? But there we are. So if you hear me sometimes say that something is a dollar move, so if you've ever wondered what I've ever meant by that, something, some action or pronouncement is a dollar move, the entirety of this piece and this interaction is essentially what that means. So this in its totality is a dollar move, and the dollar call is this paragraph that I just read you now. So let me reread it. He was quoted as saying, it is an honor for me to finally meet His Excellency personally after all the good things I have heard about him. A total lie, because I don't think that Mikel Obi has ever had a conversation regarding Yaya Bello ever in his life, until the opportunity came for him to have this interaction, of course, with money being exchanged. So it is an honor for me to finally meet His Excellency personally after all the good things I have heard, a lie, and read about him. So another lie. Well, he might have read about Yaya Bello if he reads anything about Nigerian politics, but I doubt very much if he has any fixed opinion on him. And so he continues, and read about him from not just the people of Kogi State, but Nigerians. So which, I mean, it's just a total nonsense, but I'll bring you the entirety of it. My main aim is to come here to show my appreciation and to thank him for all the things. My main aim is to come here and to show my appreciation and to thank him for all the things he has been doing for the people, and also support him in whatever future political positions he wants to go into. I would like to be there to support him, to be there by his side through this journey, for him to achieve whatever he wants, which is for the betterment of Nigeria. Obi said he was hopeful that Bello and himself could work together as a team to achieve success. So, like I said, this is entirely a business move. However, Nigerians tweet, so I'm not quite sure if this is meant to be tweet, because I'm not sure they should still be tweeting in Nigeria, but of course, no, I don't think anything on this planet could stop that. So it continues. However, Nigerians tweets, it says tweets, but that should be tweets. So however, Nigerian tweets have taken to their social, or is that tweet? Let me spell it for you. Let me tell you why I'm stuck on this word. So it says Nigerian tweets, which is TWEEPS. So I was thinking that might well be a misspell, but that might well be just some term that I'm not especially familiar with. So I'll read it as it reads. However, Nigerian tweets have taken to their social media handles to call out Obi over his comments, stressing that Bello's administration was not deserving of such accolade. Many social media users expressed the belief that Obi must have been paid or is seeking a political position, hence his comment. This comes as human rights activist Omoyele Sowore, via his Twitter handle on Monday, described Obi as a sycophant. Sowore wrote at Mikel John-Obi, so that is Mikel Obi's handle apparently. So Sowore wrote at Mikel_John_Obi, as your career in football flames out, another one starts in sycophancy plus ass licking. At least for sycophancy, you don't need any rigorous practice. Enjoy it whilst it lasts. With at official Kogi, so that is Yaya Bello, the most irresponsible and incompetent governor below 50. So just lashing essentially is what this guy is getting. Just endless comments now thrown in that direction, just to really, you know, lambast him and lampoon him. So let me just say, click here if you want to come join live on screen. So I'll bring you one more narrative, and obviously, if nobody wants to chime in, then we'll just leave it there. So what was that story that I saw that okay. So let's take this story of Falana responding to this never-ending open grazing saga. So Falana, of course, a leading lawyer within the Nigerian space, herdsmen grazing routes, Malami misleading Buhari. Falana is the person speaking. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana says Justice Minister Abubakar Malami is misleading President Muhammadu Buhari regarding gazetted grazing routes for herdsmen. Falana also stated that the federal did not have control over lands outside of the Federal Capital Territory, as the ban on open grazing in the South and Benue did not sit well with Mr. Buhari and some northern governors. On Wednesday, Falana told Arise TV that the Land Use Act of 1979 outlawed the grazing reserve laws established by the Premier of the Northern Region, Yaya Bello. He explained, the applicable law in Nigeria today is the Land Use Act, which has been imposed and entrenched in the Constitution since 1979. By virtue of Section 1 of that Act, the entire land in every state is vested in the governor on behalf of the people. The President of Nigeria does not have control over any land outside the FCT. So this is the position of law. He, however, had strong words for Mr. Malami, whom he accused of misleading Mr. Buhari on the position of the law regarding grazing routes and open grazing in the country. The Attorney General cannot go around without the consent of the Attorney General cannot go around without the consent of a state governor to acquire any land in any part of the country, having regards to the fact that the Land Use Act as a federal enactment has covered the field, Mr. Falana pointed out. The question of grazing reserve laws is no longer applicable. The law is spent as far as the land administration of today is concerned. Further faulting Mr. Malami's ill-advising Mr. Buhari's grazing routes, the human rights lawyer demanded the Justice Minister to provide the details of the gazetted grazing routes. There was no time in the history of Nigeria that grazing routes existed in all the regions. In the First Republic, there was no grazing routes in the entire southern part of the country, Mr. Falana asserted. So if someone has informed the president that a gazette existed in the First Republic, the president has rights to say, go and look for it. I am saying whoever has embarrassed the president in this regard has to be questioned, he said. Mr. Malami had in May described Southern governor's ban on open grazing as illegal. He argued that the governor's prohibition of open grazing infringed on the freedom of Nigerians enshrined in the Constitution. So that's the long and short of it. Short and to the point, shortest session this time around. So we've gone to Mikel Obi, and then we've gone to what is his name? We've gone to Mikel Obi, and we've gone to Yaya Bello, and then we've gone to Falana, etc. And we've gone to the World Bank disputing figures that Buhari has published. So we leave the conversation there. But the conversation, of course, does not, as you know, end with these sessions. It carries on in the comment section. So I'll leave you here. Carry the conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say. Peace.